Look, here's something most people miss about rematches. When fighters get a second shot, especially guys like Tyson Fury, they come back completely different. They're sharper, smarter, more dangerous. But Jake Paul's punching power, that's not going to faze Anthony Joshua even slightly. What we're potentially looking at could be the most shocking rematch in fighting history. We're talking about a colossal $700 million collision between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua.
I always said I would win this fight, and now I'm sat up here the winner. You know, at the end of the day, I knew I was more skillful than Jake Paul. I didn't have a lot of experience at being the main event. You know, went out there, everybody was chanting, the whole world was watching this fight. And I showed everybody that I can come to the big dance and I can deliver. And that's the...
This isn't some friendly exhibition match or publicity stunt. This is shaping up to be an absolutely vicious battle where everything meaningful in professional boxing gets put to the ultimate test. Raw skill versus manufactured hype. Decades of legacy versus social media influence. Pure fighting instinct versus carefully crafted spectacle. The money involved here is unlike anything we've ever seen in combat sports. When I tell you the entire planet is about to watch history unfold in the most explosive and controversial way imaginable, I mean every word. This goes way beyond just another fight card. This is a defining moment that will reshape boxing's future for decades.
Meet the hype head on.
And when one guy isn't wanting to engage, it's really hard to pin them down and hurt them because they're not basically contributing to the sport. You know, we're supposed to be fighting each other, not, you know, you running away from me and me having to run after you. And
Joshua's...
Gone are the days of Jake Paul's cocky interviews and social media swagger. What we witnessed instead was complete psychological breakdown, frantic posting across every platform, and an endless stream of justifications trying to make sense of what went wrong. Fast forward to right now. The pressure has intensified beyond anything anyone predicted back then.
It was probably his best round because he did land a couple of shots, but equally, you could see what that was taking out of him to do that. He was dropping to his knees more and more, you know, buying time to try and recharge because you could tell he was getting fucking tired from all the running he was doing.
Paul now.
Joshua isn't casually accepting some standard rematch opportunity here. What he's actually committing to is delivering a $700 million masterclass to the world, demonstrating once and for all that years of sacrifice, genuine commitment, and authentic professional expertise cannot be substituted with internet fame, follower counts, or trending hashtags. This rematch is going to redefine everything about modern combat sports.
Anthony Joshua, not competitive for the opposite reason. He's completely not expected to win, and it wasn't competitive. He stacks the chips too heavily either way, and because of that, we never actually get to find out how good Jake is. And part of that, I think, is maybe deliberate, because then we never know, and the storyline can go anywhere.
Predicting the outcome isn't simple.
The financial scope of this rematch is mind-blowing when you consider the full picture. Their previous encounter already generated incredible revenue, with conservative estimates ranging from $144 million to $267 million, which represents massive money for any single event. But now we're discussing $700 million at stake. The worldwide implications connected to that figure are absolutely unprecedented. Multiple streaming services are battling aggressively for exclusive broadcasting rights. Corporate sponsors are investing unprecedented amounts like their entire future depends on it. And companies across every conceivable industry are scrambling desperately to associate their brands with this mega event. This has transcended traditional boxing boundaries completely. It's transformed into an economic and social phenomenon that will impact sports, entertainment, and digital culture for years to come. We're looking at hundreds of millions of viewers tuning in simultaneously across the globe. Heated discussions erupting online in countless languages, and every single action inside that squared circle will be examined, broken down, replayed endlessly, and debated passionately for generations. It's the type of rare generational event that completely erases the boundaries between authentic sport and massive worldwide entertainment. The key difference this time around, and this point cannot be overstated, is that genuine skill, authentic boxing ability forged through decades of training, is going to confront pure hype directly with the entire world as witnesses. This is precisely where Paul faced his biggest challenges previously. Joshua has meticulously studied that fight footage, analyzed every single sequence, and he's ready to exploit those vulnerabilities and transform this bout into a devastating demonstration of why professional fighters who've committed their entire existence to the craft operate in a completely different universe altogether. Paul might deliver tremendous excitement, massive social media attention, and incredible promotional value that generates huge pay-per-view numbers. But Joshua brings decades of perfected technique, bone-crushing power, and that ice-cold, methodical precision that only emerges from living boxing every single day of your life. Meanwhile, Paul is confronting what could legitimately be the most important fight of his entire career all over again. The weight of expectation is crushing. He'll attempt everything humanly possible to add more muscle mass, perfect his fundamentals with the most expensive trainers available, and manipulate his way into dominating the storyline through every media outlet he can access. Social media blitzes are already gaining momentum. Press conference spectacles will control news cycles for months ahead, and viral content is going to saturate every platform you can imagine. But here's what really counts. The authentic truth about who's genuinely the superior fighter will be revealed inside those ropes when that opening bell sounds. That first knockout defeat haunts everyone's memory. You cannot rewrite that chapter of history. And now he's stepping into a situation where both the financial stakes and public examination are more intense than anything he's ever experienced in his fighting career. Every error he committed in their initial encounter will be magnified and brutally punished. Every flaw will be systematically targeted without mercy, and the entire world will be observing with cameras documenting every moment of what happens when marketing meets genuine preparation. The worldwide response to this rematch revelation has been absolutely explosive, spreading instantly across every corner of cyberspace. The conversation happening right now extends far beyond simple predictions about the winner, though everyone's making their forecasts. It's about something much more significant. It's about how boxing itself is evolving both as competitive sport and mass entertainment. Can a content creator with minimal professional background actually compete against an established champion who's performing at his absolute peak? Will this rematch establish the blueprint for future crossover battles between traditional professionals and internet personalities? The social implications are massive when you examine the broader context. Supporters will dissect every round, every moment of excitement. Viewership statistics are going to completely demolish existing records across every streaming service. Gambling odds will swing dramatically based on every training update and workout video, and social media will absolutely detonate with forecasts, breakdowns, comedy, and passionate opinions from every possible perspective. This isn't simply a fight in the conventional meaning anymore. It's a planetary discussion unfolding live about technique versus marketing, financial gain versus lasting impact, and what it actually means to be a true champion in today's world. Anthony Joshua's agreement to this $700 million rematch isn't merely sports headlines that disappear quickly. It's a powerful declaration being broadcast globally. The message is unmistakably clear for everyone listening. No degree of celebrity, no amount of promotional buzz, and no level of social media influence can ever substitute the years of commitment, personal sacrifice, and hard-earned wisdom that genuine champions invest. Jake Paul might be a phenomenon, a viral superstar, maybe even a promotional mastermind, but Joshua remains the authentic professional, the established legend, and the fighter who's establishing the benchmark for what legitimate, real boxing represents. The planet will witness this fight, discuss it constantly, argue in online forums, and theorize about every conceivable result. But when everything settles down, when all the commotion fades away, the ring serves as the ultimate arbiter, and history has already demonstrated very definitively which side of that verdict genuinely counts when skill confronts spectacle. Then there's the psychological combat element that's already in motion, and this aspect is equally crucial as the physical conditioning. Verbal warfare, heated media appearances, and social media battles are all components of the preparation that audiences absolutely love. Joshua doesn't always engage in the mental games publicly like certain fighters prefer, but his achievements, his commanding presence, and his proven record communicate everything without requiring many words. Every provocative statement Paul makes, attempting to disturb his focus, every viral post he creates, trying to shape the narrative, Joshua is processing it all, learning from it, examining it, and converting it into motivation for training camp. The psychological dimension of this rematch is honestly equally fascinating, as the physical preparation, with supporters monitoring the drama, intensify and develop almost as eagerly as they're anticipating the actual competition itself. This mental strategy battle is part of what makes this rematch so captivating beyond just the athletic action. It's bigger than either fighter individually. It's about lasting impact, about true professionalism, about demonstrating definitively that legends don't just survive in competition. They completely dominate in every possible way, and that dominance resonates throughout history. This rematch represents a legitimate social earthquake that's shaking the very foundation of fighting sports. Boxing traditionally focused on championship titles, devastating strikes, and the honor of victory in its most authentic form, but now it's transformed into something that encompasses worldwide attention on an unprecedented scale, viewership records being obliterated, and social media frenzies that become global trends, all combined into one massive spectacle. Countless people worldwide from every nation and every culture will watch through Netflix, traditional pay-per-view, and every streaming platform available. They'll witness a traditional professional athlete with decades of background face-off against an internet-born celebrity who established his reputation through viral videos. This confrontation isn't only occurring in the physical ring, it's happening within our culture itself, in how we understand sports, entertainment, and fame in the digital era. Joshua represents decades of punishing training, unwavering discipline, and real-world expertise earned through struggle, pain, and dedication. Meanwhile, Paul symbolizes promotional power, internet virality, and influencer status that's revolutionized how celebrity functions in the 20s. Together, whether they intended this outcome or not, they're fundamentally rewriting the playbook of sports entertainment, and the world is absorbing every second as it develops. This moment carries million-dollar ramifications. This transcends just the prize money, though $700 million is obviously life-altering wealth. It's about reputation that endures eternally, honor that cannot be purchased, and worldwide recognition rights that will be discussed for generations, all packaged in a spectacle that the world will never forget. At the core of this entire story, the fight represents a compelling study in opposites that reveals a deeper narrative: experience challenging hype, professionalism confronting spectacle, commitment opposing marketing, classic principles versus contemporary methods. Joshua embodies living legacy, a striking reminder that ability, preparation, and wisdom cultivated over decades cannot be substituted by quick fixes or internet stardom. Paul represents the current era of social media boxing, where viral content and charisma can create opportunities that pure talent alone might never access. But even in a $700 million extravaganza with all the flash and excitement, the fundamental lesson remains elegantly straightforward and impossible to dismiss. Champions deliver education that wealth cannot purchase. Regardless of how much money sits on the table, every strike landed, every round endured, every intense moment that develops becomes part of a narrative that will be studied, examined, and discussed for years and likely generations ahead. The preparation we're witnessing right now is already epic. Everyone has chosen their fighter, everyone holds strong opinions, but only the ring will determine what actually occurs when everything is decided. When that crucial moment arrives, when the starting bell rings and combat begins, it won't simply be about who claims victory on the judges' cards or who gets their arm raised. It will be about who demonstrates beyond question that promotional noise, regardless of volume, cannot replace genuine heart, cannot replace authentic skill, and cannot replace the continuous effort and commitment of a true champion who's invested the work when nobody was paying attention.